Hi, this is Doris. I like to say happy 2015. I like to also say thank you so much, Chris, for your kind video. Now, when I made Chris's video, it was a couple weeks ago. I was just glad he wasn't mad because I told him I was going to make it and it took me 2 days to get it done, to have quiet time to do it. Well, he did like it. And then he made me a thank you video and directed people to my site. And it was so kind. And he also said on his tape, well, I don't really know her. And I was like, well, I did your chart. Why don't I just do a chart about me? To tell, because I just did yours, and you said you don't know me, so maybe you'll know more about who I am. Okay. Well, not one thing I want to say is, besides thank you, Chris, is that I did find that Joni Mitchell, she was also a Finks. She wrote a lot of songs a long time ago. I don't really know a lot of her songs by reciting them. But because she was born with a couple gates that you're missing, and she has a heart and soul of the Finks, if I listen to her songs, it might not ring a bell to me. Because when you listen to a song, it's personal to you. Now, sometimes some people hear a song and then it's just like, oh, it just gave me goosebumps and it just touched my soul. So if I listened to her music and told you which songs to listen to that touched me, they might not affect you. So I would just wanted to let you know that I did find that out, and I should have added that to the tape or found it out sooner. Let you know about that, and let you know that I really enjoyed making you that tape. It was a path of proving that human design does work, because it led to a positive result. How many things that you do, you get a big thank you. It lets you know that you're walking towards a positive. Now, when you directed people to my site, some of them want me to do a chart on them, which that'd be great. But do you know, in human design, if you have to have a birth date, you have to have the city and the state you're born in, and I have to have a time. Or your charts, or I'll be doing a chart and it could be off, and it wouldn't even be talking about you, and then you're like, oh, that's not me. Well, because you gave me the wrong time. Some people have a trouble giving the time of birth, but I've had that case before, when somebody didn't know the time of birth, but they knew the date. And the location, they got it between the town and the hospital that was local to their house. They had questions about that too. Human design is based on the solar system of the planets. The planets, they're planets. They're not shooting stars. So what's above you when you're at the time of your birth is not. It's usually up there for a while. Now, some people that I did a chart for, I had to do a time frame on them as a 1 o'clock, and I did a 3 o'clock. Ask them about themselves, because they would know about who they are, not me. And we got it down to we knew exactly what time they were born within like a 2-hour frame because of their gates that they have. It's a lot of time to do that. That'd be your personal mission. If you don't know your time, it's nice to find out. Hey, I was born, I never knew that. So anyway, a couple people asked me to do a chart, but they're not giving me all that information I need. So that's the reason why I haven't done a chart from the people who you guided towards me. Because without all 3 of those facts, it's hard to do a chart. But again, I do. I like to tell you about who I am. So, when I started human design, I noticed that human design was made by, wow, very smart manifester. I'm also a manifester also. But it was hard to understand because when you see a human design chart, you have something like that in front of you, and you're like, wow. So I wanted to make it into fairy tales, and I wanted to make it into stories. So I made a map. Now the map I made, I didn't start the wheel from scratch, so I just cut and paste and move things around because I wanted to lay it out the same way that the human design chart was made. Like when you go to a chart and this is at the top and that's at the bottom, I made my map the same way. And I made characters to describe each gate. That way when somebody would say I have like a gate 11, I'm like, oh, okay, then that's the book gate. You can tell stories. And it's easier. It was easier for me to make it into a fairy tale and into small categories. So when I started doing human design, I made the full map. Then I broke it down into the sections, and I broke that down into each building, which each building would have each gate into it. So when you go to my site, I can, like I say, the 11, I call it the storyteller, the book, because to me, the 64 gates were just so hard to. It was just so many of them. They got confusing. So I made them in each 32 little character. I would guess you would call them dolls or characters, and then I made each doll and character have an object. That's where I started with my human design at. And I started to break each gate down to what I believed it was easy for me to remember, because these are my tapes. So, as I needed to understand it. So when you go to the gates and you look up a gate, it will tell you a story. Like Chris has the 64, which I call it the bricks. A lot of information in his mind, and I call it the 64 bricks. And there's also the 47 would be the mason. He puts the bricks together. And then in the story I tell, when you do go to my site and you look that up, it's a story about a bed and breakfast place, and there's a fireplace built because finally the 47 mason and the person with the 64, they came together because the auras, that's how human design works, by connecting. If you don't have the other half of your gate, that would be I guess the search. And in my story, the 47, the mason, he took all the 64 bricks and made this beautiful fireplace that is at the bed and breakfast. And I made stories like that to combine the two numbers, plus to help me remember faster. So that's where I got started at. And I guess I want to start talking about my gates. Thank you.